Hello, hello. Welcome back to another free English lesson. Novella Benedetti is my name and I'm your English coach. And today what we're going to take a closer look at is vocabulary related to the house. Okay, before we dig deeper into this topic, please let me remind you to have a look at my website www.novellabenedetti.it. Italy, IT. Yes, on my website you find the Italian version of this lesson, the written version in Italian of this lesson. So in case you find it a bit difficult to follow me as I go, you can have access to the Italian equivalent. And of course, I think it could be quite useful for you in case you need some support as to how to the spelling, how to write down certain words that we're going to take a look at today. Okay. Of course, when on my website, I would be very happy if you would like to join us on the newsletter. Resfeber, it's the name. Resfeber is a monthly newsletter. I send it out every first Friday of the month, and it includes, besides the typical discounts on English courses and so on, but it also includes some inputs as to phrasal verbs, idiomatic expressions in English, and I take them from music, from songs. I really do believe that music is a great tool in order to improve your vocabulary. So yeah, so this kind of content is shared only through the newsletter. So either you subscribe or you don't, that's your choice. If you don't get access to the inputs, of course. And of course, when you subscribe, you get a free downloadable ebook. It's an ebook with a number of US American idiomatic expression. It comes with drawing and a memory game, so it's quite a nice way. Anyways, going back to today's class, housing. Why housing? Well, because I found out through the years that there are a number of words that actually, even if your English is very good, I see a number of people struggling with them. So here we are, okay? This lesson is taught for a B1, B1.2 level. So yes, a full B1, a B1 moving on to B2. The first part of a house with which Italian native speakers have trouble is actually balcone. Yes, we all have, well, not all, but plenty of us have un balcone in their house, and I hear a lot of students that get to the moment where they need to speak of a balcone and they go like, no, because my house also has a balcony. And that's quite funny because yes, balcony sounds like so wrong, but it is actually right. Yeah, so balcony, it's a typical part of the house in southern countries where the climate is nicer, the weather is warmer, so we do have balcone. And Nordic countries, they took these words from us, so they have a balcony. Now, of course, in some bigger houses, lucky people might have una terrazza, not only a balcony. And if you have una terrazza, you have a terrace or patio, I've seen sometimes, which I believe is taken more from Spanish. But yes, here you are, patio and terrace and balcony. Other two words that Italian native speakers find a bit difficult to remember are the words camino e caminetto. Of course, they entail that they are two completely different words, all related to the same part of the house, so to speak. So il caminetto, the place where you sit in front of with the fire and everything, is called fireplace. Il posto del fuoco, letteralmente, no? Il caminetto, fireplace. While il camino is called chimney. Chimney è proprio tipo la canna a fumare, no? Il camino in quel senso. And if you're passionate about Mary Poppins, cancamini, cancamini, spazza, camin, it's very nice, the chim chiminin, chim chiminin, and then, yes, I get twisted up. But feel free, I put a link on my website. Feel free to have a check of the original version of the song. It is really quite nice. It's really quite nice. It's always a challenge how translator can actually translate not only the meaning, but also the sounds and the melody of the song. So chimney and fireplace. Then other two words that some people get mistaken are cantina. La cantina is the basement, easy peasy, basement, or cellar. Cellar and basement, they are the same. If you are lucky enough to be speaking about una cantina di vini, non una cantina in generale, ma proprio quella di vini, beato te, then you're speaking about a wine cellar, not a wine basement, a wine cellar, only cellar with wine, okay? Last but not least, another, every building can have different floors. First, second, third, and then ground. Ground floor è il piano terra, which sometimes I get confused in Italian, let alone English, but anyways, ground floor. And if it can help you to remember that where once there were the Twin Towers, now you have ground zero, okay? Ground is the zero land, okay? And that's it. When it comes to the house, I'd like to speak a little bit about the places where we live. I'm not referring to houses, but rather cities, towns, and so on. I have a number of students who tell me I live in a country, per dire che vivono in un paesino o in un paese. Allora no, country is only a state. Italy is a country, France is a country, Germany is a country, Levico Terme is not a country, okay? Pergine is not a country, Sfruz is not a country, okay? Those places are villages, okay? Villages. Then if you consider how big the urban areas are, then you have a village, then you have a town. Trento, for example, is a town. And then you have a city, like Rome is a city, of course, or the city, London. Okay? City is very big. Then you have towns, and then you have villages. Now, you can use country when you want to say che vivi in campagna. Vivere in campagna, to live in the country, to live in the countryside. Okay, that is acceptable. But yes, you cannot say I live in a country, I live in a village. That's the correct form. One word that a lot of people get messed up, especially if they are living in bigger cities, it's the word quartiere. And it's different depending on whether you're referring to the US or the UK. So in the UK, quartiere is the neighborhood. You remember neighbor, il vicino, neighborhood, il vicinato, ovvero sia il quartiere. In the USA, however, their cities and towns, they tend to be built in blocks. So they speak about blocks. Do you remember the song from Jennifer Lopez, Hello, I'm Jennifer on the Block? I'm not going to sing you that one. You should be lucky. Should consider yourself lucky. But yes, block è il quartiere. And of course, I included the link to JLo song in my article on the blog. The last input I want to give you today is about two words, and namely suburbs and outskirts. Those are typical yes, for English and US American cities, but suburbs are normally residential areas around the city, so not in the city centers, okay? Suburbs, residential areas. Outskirts, they are places where people live really far away from the center, still not in the city center, but they are not a residential area, okay? Suburbs, outskirts. Okay, that's it for today. So we took a closer look of a number of words. We saw the difference between balcony, terrace and patio. And then we went on to chimney and fireplace. We spoke about the basement and cellar and wine cellar, of course, very, very important. We spoke about ground floor. We spoke about moving on with the second part, the village, town and city, living in the country. We spoke about suburbs and outskirts, neighborhoods and blocks. And that's it for our lesson today. Thank you for listening. I hope it was useful for you. If you have any questions, feel free to write me or leave a comment or whatever. I'd be more than happy to answer. Again, I will, if you're watching this video directly on YouTube, you'll find below the link to my website, so you find the Italian description with the spelling of some of the words we saw today. What else? Feel free also to join Resfeber, the monthly newsletter, so to be sure and make sure you receive monthly inputs when it comes to English in order to improve your vocabulary. I thank you a lot. Feel free to share this anywhere with anyone you feel might be useful for, and I'll see you next time.